welcome back to Good Morning Sri Lanka. Before the break, we were talking to the very vibrant Kolu, and like I told you at the beginning of the show, we have another great personality, another super K, because this show is all about Ks. I'm feeling so weird right now because my name starts with an A. But yeah, we have Kumar Silva right here in our studios. Over here, welcome to Good Morning.
Hi, great to be here. Hi, Kolu. Good morning.
Hi, Kumar.
How are you?
Okay, so Kumar, talking about the written work that you have done, we basically are going to focus today's show is about your books, both of your books. Tell us what special thing that you have in your book that you would actually persuade the audience with you and buy it.
So talking of Lester and Arangani, over the years, lots has been written about Lester James Peris, but no one got to read his story in his own words. People wrote about him, how good he was, how wonderful he was, so I thought, let me give the readers a chance to read their story in their own words. So Lester by Lester and Arangani is, my role was a very small role. I was a ghostwriter. 98% is their words, their sentences, their phrases. It's them talking to the reader. That's how it is.
Okay, how can you be a ghostwriter? You wrote the book.
No.
You didn't write the book?
Well, yes and no. It's a very funny situation.
Okay.
I call myself the ghostwriter because I recorded her voice and his voice over hours.
Okay.
And they told their story. So I transcribed the whole thing and I got cleared up, and the drafts went up and down till it was perfect. So
right. So gently shifting away from Irangni Sirsing, I would like to ask you the fact that both of your written work is about people, is about personality, is about how you are unique in your own personality's ways, right? So what can we expect from Sri Lankan written work in future? Generally, what do you think about Sri Lankan written work in the perspective of your writing?
Cool.
Well, I heard both your books are very good, and I'm hoping now for this for the Vesak weekend to get the Irangani's book and read it at that time.
Okay.
So that I have had only good words about, good praise about the book. Huh?
But actually, somebody told me that reading the Irangani book, he felt as though she was talking to him.
Wow.
It's very extremely simple language, short sentences.
Okay.
It was her speech, so it's a colloquial book.
Right.
It's not a work of art, or it's not some huge masterpiece. Both books, it's them talking in their words. So you actually, when you read the book, you hear them talking to you. I thought that would work, and it has worked actually.
Okay, so now tell us, when you started writing the book, usually what do you think, how does the inspiration come? Kolu and Kumar, this question is for both of you. How does the inspiration come to a writer? Does it just, you just go to a table, you start writing and everything flows into you, or does it take a lot of time? Does it take a lot of discipline? And do you actually spend a lot of time, on meditation, on focusing on attention, on what you're going to write about and the specific things that you're going to include?
I think Kolu wrote about stuff that was in his head, his recipes, how he perfected the Sri Lankan recipes. But in my case, it was me extracting information from two people, okay. And they had a huge big story out there. So I had to actually, like this Mitikiri and the Dekiri story, squeeze them over so many hours and days and weeks and get their story out.
Right.
So that's the difference between his book and the ones that I've done.
Kumar, have you read Kolu's book?
Yes, I have.
Have you eaten Kolu's food?
It makes me salivate. So that answers your question.
So tell us more about it. Tell us about the experience about reading his book and eating his food.
I think he's a great cook. Okay. I had him on one of my early TV programs many years ago with Yasmin Rajapaksa, and he made cutlass. The whole thing about cutlass and patties and istarha kema. And okay. Yes, I think he used to cater for birthday parties long time ago.
Long time ago, yeah.
Yasmin's kids' birthday parties, and
that's
yes,
right, yeah. So
I think he's given the traditional Sri Lankan recipe a new lease of life. Well, a posher, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's a posher lease of life,
no,
and it's upgraded. See, our people, as you said, are pseudo-European, pseudo English, pseudo-American. So even a Sri Lankan thing with this little flavor of something white-skinned goes a long way.
Right.
Right?
That's right.
Okay, Kolu, Kumar's obsession about France. So why don't you tell us about French food and your take on Kumar?
Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour. Well, I have studied it, I have learned it, but I have never gone extreme efforts on making French food. But I do a lot of continental food because I lived in Portugal for a long time.
Oh.
And I'm more Mediterranean in that way, which has heavily influenced with Portuguese food, and I use a lot of those cooking methods in my cooking methods. So not more than French food.
You've eaten frog's legs?
Oh yeah, I have eaten everything.
And the snails, the escargot.
I love the snails.
The snails are very much like prawn. If you can eat prawn, you can eat snails.
Okay,
A little bit
escargot.
more slippery. It kind of it's like rubbery. It slides down your throat like this.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's nice. You
Is
eat prawn.
that Portuguese?
No, it's,
Prawns. It's, sorry.
snails are
Snails.
I know. Tell me about escargot. Escargot? Is that what it called?
Snail. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So cool. So tell us about since you are always talking about Sri Lanka is a pseudo-European has a pseudo-European culture in Sri Lanka about food regarding food that is.
Yeah.
What should where should Sri Lankan food culture go in the future in order to change?
First of all, I think we should really push that it's our own cuisine, because when you say we do curry or what, they all associate us with Indian food straight away. So
Right.
that's first you have to differentiate that we are completely a different cuisine. And it's amazing how everybody eats our food wherever you make, whether it's a crab curry or whatever it is, and even spicy, they really enjoy it. And I think where tourism is concerned, they should promote it more, because again, I always laugh sometimes you go to some of these hotels wherever and you see a whole Italian group coming in, and then you see a whole like a bad Italian buffet on the, it's quite shameful. I think, you see them also picking and thinking we are mad. Because I know whichever other country in Asia you find their cuisine has been promoted, their culture has been promoted. So I think we should really get down to pushing.
Yeah,
Our
and I
own
really
cuisine,
agree with the fact that you said that most people actually compare Sri Lankan food to Indian food and say that it's very similar. But
It
how
is not.
how do you differentiate
No,
it? Why
is
don't you
not
tell us?
similar. I really don't find anything. Maybe some of the South Indian food,
Yes,
maybe, but
some.
not at all, because our flavors are completely different.
Is it the coconut milk? Is it the
Well, some places in South India use it,
Yeah.
but our coconut milk and our condiments are much more strong and much nicer, and we use it in much better ways. Not better way. I like Indian food, but I think our Sri Lankan food has its own unique style, and that's what we have to promote.
Sure.
Okay, now since today's episode is about the great Ks, we call it the great Ks. Think about K. Tell me that does the name make the man? People actually, talk about that. People when they say your name, when we say Kumar Silva, when we say Kolu, we actually think of your name. It controls the images of your name. Do you think that the name makes the man?
Yeah, I think so. Where I'm concerned, yes, for sure.
The name and what the name represents.
Okay, so tell
The
us about
sense of what the name is. You can have a very hollow name. I can blow myself up into something which I'm not.
Okay.
And still that name is marketable. But you pick it, it all falls flat. So it's actually it's who you are and what you are, and how genuine you are and how sincere you are.
Okay.
A lot of crap also goes around Colombo. It's marketing. It's and Facebook. You can market yourself in Facebook like every minute of the day. But
definitely.
it's not the same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That social media has taken over a lot, no?
Okay, so we've had a wonderful, very delicious, inspiring morning, and we will actually see more of Kumar after the break. But thank you so much, Kolu, for being in our show, and thank you for giving us such a lot of inspiring thoughts on how Sri Lankan should be Sri Lankan, even in the food case.
Yeah,
Sure,
of
sure.
course, of course, yeah.
Yeah, so we will be going into a very, very small break, and we are going to say goodbye to Kolu, but more of Kumar after the break. Don't go away.